You were told a story when you were young. Maybe your parents told it to you. Maybe a teacher. Maybe a coach standing on a sideline somewhere pointing at you like the truth was simple. Work hard, keep your head down, do the right thing, and success will come. So you believed it. You carried it into your career like scripture. You showed up before anyone else arrived and left after the last light went off. You missed dinners, skipped weekends, answered emails at midnight. You delivered everything on time, sometimes ahead of schedule. You were reliable, consistent, thorough. You were, by every honest measure, the kind of employee a company should be desperate to keep. And then the promotion cycle came around, and someone else got the job. It doesn't hit you all at once. First comes the confusion. You replay the last 6 months in your head, searching for the mistake you must have made, the moment you must have slipped. But you can't find it, because it isn't there. Your performance reviews were strong. Your numbers were solid. Your manager said things like dependable and consistent, and we couldn't do it without you. Then comes the rationalizing. Maybe they were more qualified. Maybe the timing was off. Maybe next quarter. But then it happens again, and again. And eventually, if you're paying close enough attention, a pattern begins to emerge. And the pattern has nothing to do with effort. Here is the uncomfortable truth that no one puts in the employee handbook. Companies do not promote the hardest workers. They promote the most visible ones. Think about the person who got that promotion instead of you. Really think about them. Were they working harder than you? Were they more skilled? Were their results dramatically better? Probably not. But here's what they almost certainly were doing. They were making sure the right people knew about their results. They were in the meetings where decisions were made. They were building relationships with people 3 levels above them. They were speaking up in rooms where speaking up was noticed. They were, whether consciously or not, managing their own visibility the way a business manages its brand. They understood something that nobody teaches you, and that most people learn too late. In a corporate environment, perception is not a bonus layer on top of performance. Perception is performance. How you are seen shapes what you are given, full stop. This is not cynicism. It is not a critique of ambition or a reason to become manipulative. It is simply an honest accounting of how large organizations actually function. Think about what a company is at its core. It is a human system, thousands of people making decisions based on incomplete information, personal relationships, and cognitive shortcuts. No manager has perfect visibility into every employee's contributions. No executive can measure every hour of effort happening beneath them. So they rely on what they can see. They rely on the people who surface themselves, who communicate their value clearly, who exist in the minds of decision makers as someone worth investing in. If your work stays buried in a spreadsheet that 3 people look at, it may as well not exist, not because it has no value, but because value that is invisible cannot be rewarded by people who cannot see it. This is the gap. This is the career gap that swallows brilliant people whole. Not a lack of talent, not a lack of effort. A lack of visibility. Influence is the other currency that most hardworking people never learn to spend. There are people in every company who seem to carry a certain gravitational pull. When they speak, people lean in. When they recommend someone, that person gets the meeting. When they raise a concern, leadership takes it seriously. These people are not always the most technically skilled in the room. But they have built something over time. Trust, relationships, a reputation that precedes them into every conversation. That is influence. And influence in a corporate system is compounding capital. The more you have, the more you're given. The more you're given, the more visible you become. And the more visible you become, the more you are rewarded, regardless of whether the person who stayed late last. Tuesday is more deserving than you. It is not fair. But fairness was never part of the system design. None of this means hard work is worthless. Hard work is the foundation. You cannot build visibility on nothing. The substance has to be there. But substance without signal is a building with no address. Nobody can find it. Nobody can value what they cannot locate. The people who truly understand how corporate advancement works are not working less hard. They are working just as hard, but they have added a layer on top of the effort. They are narrating the work. They are building the relationships. They are finding ways to be in the room, or to make sure what happens outside the room still gets heard inside it. They have figured out that your career is not just what you do. It is the story that gets told about what you do. And more importantly, who is telling it? So what is the hidden career system? It is not complicated, but it is rarely spoken aloud. Results get you qualified. Visibility gets you considered. Influence gets you chosen. All three have to exist together. Strip any one of them out and the machine stalls. You can be brilliant and invisible and go nowhere. You can be visible but hollow and eventually get found out. But the person who delivers real results, makes those results known, and builds genuine trust across the organization, that person moves. That person grows. That person gets the call. The lie was never that hard work matters. Hard work matters enormously. The lie was that hard work alone is enough. It isn't. It never was. And the sooner you understand that, the sooner you can stop wondering why the room keeps moving without you and start making sure you're already in it.